Well, Onision has made not one, not two, but three videos discussing quote-unquote drama. Two of them involving the whole Eugenia Cooney issue. Oh joy, I cannot wait. So yeah, Onision has uploaded three more videos involving quote-unquote drama. One in particular I feel is trying to distract people from the whole issue, especially try to get people off his back involving the drama. He discusses once again the whole Eugenia Cooney thing, and then discusses, or at least makes an apology to Shane Dawson, which we all know how many times he's apologized to people and he goes back on his word. So without further delay, let's get started. Oh wait, actually one more delay. The videos in question, I want to point out, especially the ones that are supposed to be supportive to Eugenia Cooney, are monetized and have ads on them. So that was short-lived, that whole ideal of, oh, I'm just doing it because I care. Yeah, Onision, we know you're full of shit. The first video in question is the Predator video, and oh my gosh.
What's up, you guys? I just woke up, so pardon my appearance if it looks weird. This video is about something that's pretty important. Apparently, there are people out there who are a danger to you, a danger to children, or a danger to just people in general.
Onision, are you finally admitting to you people that you are a danger to society? Oh wait, no you're not? Oh, you're going to distract people by giving, or the very least making allegations towards people to try to distract people from your actions? Oh, okay.
So three people come to my mind when I think about it, and I want to share this with you guys so you can avoid them. But I can't necessarily accuse them of anything because it wouldn't be reasonable in most instances, as I'm going off what other people have said.
Then why did you make this video? Because this video is practically accusing them of something that they may or may not have done. Particularly one that you're going to mention, your father.
That has happened to them directly. I.e., I've spoken to victims, or I've spoken to friends who have spoken to victims, and they came to me saying that these people are predators.
They are alleged predators. And unfortunately, the allegations mean jack, especially when they're coming from somebody like yourself, Onision.
Now, with that being said, first off, there's a rock star with the last name of Jurgensen. I can't say his full name because of YouTube policy.
You want to be as vague as possible because, let's face it, you don't want people to look up this information to see if it's true. You'd rather just want them to listen to you for information, which we've already proven time and time again that you are not the arbiter of information and knowledge.
But I happened to date his daughter at one point, and she confessed to me that one night he was intoxicated, she was on his couch, and he had violated her.
Okay, quick tangent. Is this like the 20th or like 30th teenager or woman that he's claimed to have sex with? I mean, seriously. Unless he's lying about, the quote-unquote sex, and every single female individual end up cock-blocking him. Which, with his demeanor, it would make more sense.
As I recall, she was crying and she was very upset about this, but I think people should know that someone is a predator so they don't risk being victims themselves. It's our duty to spread awareness, and this isn't enough to go to the police over, so all I can really do is tell you guys that this happened based on his own daughter's statement.
No offense to the victims, is there any way we can, or anywhere else we can hear this statement? Or hear that this actually happened? Look, I'm not trying to denounce actual victims, but, and I say this because, again, you're not the most honest individual. We'd like to hear a secondary source rather than it come from you.
And you got to ask yourself, why would someone's daughter lie about their own dad unless it actually happened?
Again, not to try to denounce actual victims, but some people do lie. Some people do try to get people sent to jail when they don't get their way. I'm not saying that's always the case, but at the same time, it makes it difficult for, other victims who suffer trauma.
It's not like we're talking about somebody that someone hates. It's not like we're talking about someone who's trying to get payback or anything like that. We're talking about someone's own kid saying this. Speaking of someone's own kid, some of you guys might think I have no concept of what it's like to have a father who's a predator, but my father is in fact a predator.
You keep forgetting to put the word alleged in there because we're only hearing your side. We're not hearing anybody else's when it comes to this whole situation.
3 different people had accused him of being completely and utterly inappropriate in that he actually straight up violated a child, and he also went after 2 adults.
Where is the proof?
And this is only what I'm aware of. My dad's name is Randy, and again, unfortunately, I can't give you all the information, but I'm pretty sure if you look for the dad of Onision, you'll probably find out who he is.
Funny thing is I actually did do that, and just to be to kind of get more of a broader, or I guess simpler search, I went and typed in dad of Onision sexual assault, and the first things I get is Onision, wife, kids, age, girlfriend, net worth, height. YouTube's Onision is a sexual predator who has been. How to find out my father was convicted of sexual assault, which has nothing to do with Onision, and father accused of sexual assault on 3 daughters, remanded. So, nothing involving his father being a sexual predator. When you bring up information like that, Onision, your best, especially when you're bringing up harsh allegations like that, is to give evidence and not make people search for it, because then that just makes you look like a liar. Now, just out of curiosity, if anybody ends up trying to search him, and if you guys find anything, please let me know. I would love to see if this is actually true or not, because so far every time Onision has brought this up, no information whatsoever. I found nothing on his father.
So if you have kids, keep them away from my dad, and if you know women or are a woman, you should probably keep them away from my dad too, as he is a bona fide predator based on the people I've actually spoken to who have been victims of him.
Again, you keep forgetting to use that word alleged, because so far there has been not much information given to your father being a predator.
And again, these are victims coming to me, talking to me about what happened to them. This is not me accusing them. This is me passing on the information that victims have communicated to me.
This actually brings up another question that I had. How do we know that the stories you are telling are actually true? That people have come to you when it comes to these certain situations? I mean, you have faked drama before. You've faked information, so why exactly should we trust you? Your word about people coming out about these situations.
Not everybody wants to make a YouTube video outing themselves, which is why I'm not exposing who was the victims of these people. Now, lastly, this person I found out about very, very recently. A friend of mine came to me knowing who I am and the fact that I will spread information that is helpful to society if I know it. He communicated that this girl he knows personally came to him and said that she was violated. She wouldn't tell him who violated her, and so he started rapping off names, and literally the first name he said was Mr. Repsian.
Oh, of course. Okay, now I know you're full of shit.
This girl responded indicating that Repsian had in fact violated her. Additionally, Mr. Repsian's girlfriend is apparently anti-Semite, as you can see from these screenshots, and yet last I heard he's still knowingly dating this anti-Semite. And the reason I present these 2 pieces of information to you is because one is shocking and horrifying, and the other is also awful but serves as a character witness. I don't know if this girl's ever going to come forward about Mr. Repsian. I'm sure if she did come forward, it would help people avoid him and not become a victim of him. Those are all the people I can think of at this time who are a significant threat or a possible threat to women and or children. So stay safe, you guys, and if you don't have people like me reporting when victims have spoken about being victims, well, you don't have situations where people can actually build a case against people and maybe hopefully one day imprison them for violating women and or children.
Now, I'm going to say this. The worst thing for Onision right now is the fact that he didn't call these as allegations. And more so that if these people look at this video and then know that it's not true and consider Onision as trying to damage their image, more likely they could probably get him for defamation or defamation of character. So I guess that's more legal issues that Onision has to deal with because he is kind of an idiot. Alright, so the next video in question is him talking about eating disorders, which he doesn't use Eugenia Cooney's name, but he references her in this video. So, yeah, this still is a video about Eugenia Cooney. And, like I said, there are ads on these videos. So, let's go ahead and get started, shall we?
Hey guys, I want to talk about a really important issue, and this time I don't need to be dropping names or anything because it's just a general educational video that I want you guys to understand, and it's like really important that people know this in general, as I've been effective in the past in helping people, and I think I can help them again.
I thought my jokes were bad.
So, anorexia nervosa, that's a serious condition that a lot of people suffer from. And when they go to rehab, when they're forced to go to rehab or they go voluntarily, you have a significant chance of relapsing. This is a real thing.
Well, I guess it's with any, like, let's say, eating disorder or any mental condition, or let's say, drug addiction. Because, again, I work at a drug rehab. Anybody who is dealing with that kind of stuff is prone to relapse. Now, that's usually if certain triggers are not dealt with and certain issues in their personal life have not been, I guess, in a sense, taken care of.
However, in the current climate, it doesn't appear that anyone I know of is currently relapsing.
You are made of stupid.
Can I just point out that whole current climate thing, that's not an argument. It's not. Every single one of us is different than let's say, the person next door to us or the person in the next room. We all have our triggers. We all have our issues different from other people. Let's say, for instance, you have an individual who is, or at least uses soda as a crutch. Like, drinking soda helps them with certain issues and stuff like that. Now, and let's say they're trying to get over it. Now, a person who's drinking soda wouldn't consider that as a trigger, but the individual who is drinking the soda will see that and then possibly relapse. Okay? Not everybody is a collective like you, for some reason, believe them to be.
So, with that being said, all we should really be doing is being incredibly supportive and loving and considerate, etc. Something you should do to avoid relapsing is ensure that you avoid triggers.
Yeah, and what helps you avoid triggers? By acknowledging what triggers you. Which, for some reason, is something that you can't understand or wrap your entitled little brain around.
There was a YouTuber recently who decided to out another person and their private story in excruciating detail. And it was really sad to see somebody just openly betray this wonderful, sweet girl. The fact of the matter is nobody knows whether or not certain individuals are going to relapse.
This is something you're not getting, though, is Jacqueline Glenn, intentionally with her video, was trying to mention the fact that there is more to the story when it comes to her relapse. Granted, and I gotta say, it from what it sounded like, it was very difficult to go through. Especially with how, from what they described, how controlling the mother is. Which I wouldn't be surprised if somebody in that situation would end up going to having an ED because of them having a manipulative family. Look, as I mentioned before, and I've been mentioning recently time and time again because it kind of relates to this whole situation. I work at a drug rehab. I'm not going to give the name of the company, but in a sense, I have some experience dealing with clients who suffer from drug addiction. And when they get through our program, it's a great moment. All these guys that go through our program have a new start, have a new chance at life. Because some of them, they come off the streets or they come from jail, etc. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing that these people are turning their lives around. Now, there are times where they end up getting triggered and they end up relapsing to their original behavior. Which, lucky for a lot of them, with how open our organization is, a lot of these guys end up coming back so that they can try to get back on their feet. But overall, not every person is the same when it comes to being relapsed. And if a trigger is not dealt with, then more likely it is inevitable for them to relapse. I think that's what we're trying to get at. So you can't just be positive. For the most part, you have to try to, help them with their situation as much as you can, so that way you don't end up triggering them. Or at the very least, you don't seem too pushy about it. Now, from what it sounds like, what was going on with Eugenia Cooney, obviously, it was severe, all right? It was a severe situation. And it's interesting that they brought up the term 5150, because that is something else that I have to deal with when it comes to our the drug rehab. 5150, for a lot of people who don't know, is a term used for people who can't think for themselves, or at the very least, and let me put this in perspective. Over time, we've had a ton of clients who suffered from mental health when it comes to their afflictions, and some of them to the point where they are suffering from depression or suicide to full-on schizophrenia because of the drugs they were taking. And if they can't think for themselves, or their condition is so severe that it'd be impossible for them to think for themselves, then they are considered a 5150. By which, at times, usually the person or individual is, I hate to use the word forced, but pushed to get help for their affliction.
In fact, the YouTuber who recently went to rehab for anorexia has a 66 or 66.33, something like that, % chance in recovering. But instead of trying to publicly humiliate this girl, instead of trying to make this situation all about us and getting views and so forth, it's important that the people who are friends of people who have suffered from anorexia continue to be their friends, so they can continue to actually have an impact on their life, rather than publicly sabotaging that relationship with them, thus making it impossible for them to continue to help them in the future.
Look, I know you have thoughts about Jack and Glenn, but that wasn't her intent with the video. At least that's the way I saw it. She was only doing what she thought was best. And unfortunately, there's so much you can do, especially with a situation where people are suffering from drug addiction or suffering from eating disorder or ED. There's little we can do at that point when the person doesn't want to get help. And it's not only affecting their mental health, but as well as their physical health. And as far as I can see, the only one who's been trying to turn a profit out of her recovery is you. I mean, the past couple of videos that I've been having to respond to, they've had ads on them. You make money off of her, because her, just like anybody else, is a cash cow to you. You don't care about their health. All you care about is the money and possible drama that you could cause in between people that are trying to help.
There is no reason for any of us to not be positive and supportive at this point.
Okay, seriously, who's to say we aren't being positive? Who's to say we're not being supportive? I mean, with every single one of my videos, I've been posting the help hotlines as much as I can. I don't make money off of my videos, so I don't even have to worry about, that bullshit. Okay? Right now, I'm focusing on, responding to a jackass who is using somebody who is suffering from an eating disorder. And at this point, I will say, with my videos, I was trying to, because I didn't have all the information, to consider it something else, but I will call it an ED now because of more information that came out. Somebody who is suffering from ED, you are literally profiting off of these individuals.
Because being anything else can only do harm. The fact that the majority of people who go to rehab for anorexia recover is an incredible statistic. In the description, I've put some important links that I hope you guys check out, educating everyone on anorexia nervosa. Turns out it's like the deadliest mental disorder there is. So that's kind of scary. Apparently like 5 out of every 1,000 people die from it a year. Anyway, long story short, I'm still kind of mortified and horrified that the former friend of that YouTuber who got that YouTuber committed, according to them, would just publicly backstab them, call them a liar, all while they were in recovery.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop fucking lying.
But if you look at that YouTuber's tweets, they don't seem to care. They're being very positive. Shane Dawson, a name I happily drop, is being incredibly supportive and wonderful to the eating disorder community. So again, just want to congratulate everybody on all their success who has been positive through all this. And the ultimate point of this video is to make sure that you guys watch out for not just people online, but for each other. Look for the signs that someone is suffering an eating disorder. And please don't say they're going to fail. Please don't be negative about it. Please don't cast doubt. Please be nothing but supportive, because if you have even basic common sense or human decency, you know that being even remotely negative towards somebody who is in active recovery is incredibly damaging.
Well, so is the fact that being ignorant and blissful about somebody's recovery, not even looking into the possible triggers still being there, could cause her to relapse.
And you really shouldn't tell people that they're going to fail before you've really given them an opportunity.
Where did Jacqueline Glenn say that in her videos? I'm sorry, I watched both of those videos. Where did she say that? They voiced their concerns on the fact that the mother was manipulative and caused her to be a certain way, live a certain lifestyle, under tight-lipped watch.
So, with all that being said, I want to thank you guys for supporting me on patreon.com/Anit-Onision, because like half my videos have been demonetized as of late due to me talking about these important issues. And you know what, that doesn't make me want to stop talking about them. It just makes me kind of frustrated at the system punishing people for spreading awareness about eating disorders.
You know, if this was a video about people who are suffering from eating disorder, then why promote your Patreon? Honestly. This just brings me to the conclusion that you don't care, actually, and that you are still just doing this because you want to make a quick buck. So the last video that we're responding to is apparently him apologizing to Shane Dawson. Alright guys, tell me, in one hand, how many times has Onision kept his word about when he apologizes about changing and shit like that?
Hey you guys, I'm in the thick of it right now, in the wetlands. I think I'll overlay some footage right now of just how pretty my wetlands are. It's a really awesome environment to be in, especially when you wake up in the morning and you smell crickets. I just said smell crickets.
Hasn't somebody already proved that your videos with your wetlands aren't really your wetlands, and you in a random park recording a video to make it seem like, oh, it's your wetlands?
I fucked this video up already. Anyway, this video is very important for me to make because it has been a long time coming. A little while ago, I released a half apology, but it was just full of excuses and it wasn't blunt. So I need to actually give you guys a rundown of my thought process, so hopefully you can see where I'm coming from. And just so you guys know, just because you see where I'm coming from doesn't mean you have to agree with me. It doesn't mean you even have to like me. It just means that you understand the circumstances behind how I came to be where I am now.
Something tells me, like every other video, you're going to lie.
Alright, so straight up, I just want to say there's going to be a censored version of this video and an uncensored. One has to be YouTube friendly, so if you hear it cut out at any point, that means I swore. Hi, Dobbs.
Let me guess, you're going to post the uncensored version on your Patreon, where you're making money off of the situations you're in.
So, my father is he is a assaulter and a straight up child.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay? No more! Where the fuck are your parents? Who are your parents? I'm gonna call Child Protective Services. It's time to stop!
As far as I know. And this isn't an excuse for me to go around calling other people predators.
You say that, but you've clearly done that time and time again.
Just because f***ed up things happen to me doesn't mean I can go around saying other people are f***ed up like the people I've known. And that's what I did with Shane Dawson, is I basically looked up to Shane Dawson. Even though we were comparable age, I saw him as more of a fatherly figure. And when the came out, I was like really f***ed in the head about it. And so I just jumped to conclusions, and I came to this whole "you're just like my father" thing, and it's just... I was an asshole.
Don't forget childish and insensitive, narcissistic, sociopathic, borderline delusional. Yeah, I have more, but for some reason I lost my list. There's a long list.
But you might wonder what triggered this, what made me want to actually apologize, and that is Eugenia Cooney. Recently released a documentary about Eugenia Cooney's recovery, and he was loving and kind to her. He undeniably helped the entire community of people with eating disorders in ways that I can't even comprehend. And seeing that he's helped so many people with eating disorders, and just seeing my asshole self over here conveying an obvious message that I thought he was a danger to children or some shit.
More than likely, if he doesn't respond to you, you'll probably continue to do that.
Based on jokes he told. I don't know, I've been a huge hypocrite in the realm of jokes, because I was critical of Shane Dawson when he told jokes, but I wasn't critical of the director of Guardians of the Galaxy when he told jokes. And, you know, the jokes that the Guardians of the Galaxy guy said were unacceptable.
Oh, dude, you blew it. You know, if you would have referenced your own jokes, then you know what? Then I might have, slightly considered you being sincere. But you had to use somebody else as a punching bag, so now, no, I don't consider you as sincere when it comes to all this bullshit. Or at the very least, bullshit drama.
Additionally, I myself have made jokes about kids.
Oh my god, he's actually responding to his criticism to his bad jokes.
And they're just jokes, but for some reason, when I saw Shane Dawson make these jokes, because they weren't presented in the same way that I present jokes, because I couldn't comprehend his humor, I just immediately pointed at him and I said, he's a sick predator. And that is hypocritical of me. I expect to be understood by other people, yet I don't understand him. It's just not fair. And like I said, I would have come forward with this sooner, but I wasn't shaken by anything. And what shook me was him doing such a great thing for Eugenia Cooney.
You know, I'd actually be tearing up if I knew that this was sincere.
So it does hurt to admit that he was a fatherly figure. It does suck to sit here and say, I was wrong. It doesn't make me happy at all to sit here and humble myself. But, a lot of us have f***ed up childhoods. A lot of us have f***ed up parents. A lot of us have f***ed up lives, and we have mental problems and so forth. And, all that doesn't excuse me going on a disgusting campaign trying to hurt Shane Dawson.
It's funny, he's not even acknowledging the rest of why he was attacking Shane Dawson. He did it because Shane Dawson ignored him. And then over time wanted nothing to do with him because he was being a creepy fuck. Not to mention you were making videos making fun of his weight. Ring any bells, by the way?
I couldn't take a joke. I didn't recognize that it was a joke, and he apologized. He said that what he did, he wasn't proud of, and he said that he wouldn't do it again, and I was still an asshole, even after that. And so, I deserve everything I got, probably, as a result, and I'm sorry to Shane Dawson, and I'm sorry to everyone. It was completely and utterly unacceptable. Again, I'm sorry to Shane Dawson, and I know that he can never forgive me because you just don't come back from that. So I fucked up, and I am going to just deal with that. But I still should apologize because it's the right thing to do.
So, quick question. How long do you guys think it will take for him to go back on his apology and then continue to harass Shane Dawson and others for not doing what he wants? I wouldn't be surprised if it's like within the week or within a couple of days. I don't know. Alright, so I'm going to end it here. This has been a very long video. Thank you guys for watching. Truly appreciate it. As I've been doing with the previous videos, if you are suffering from ED, then I'd ask you guys to check out the toll-free number as well as the links that I have in the description. I've been posting these links for every video involving ED and Eugenia Cooney, so please, if you're suffering from those, please contact or go on those links. And with that being said, if you have any thoughts on the topics or the videos that we responded to, then please feel free to leave a comment on your thoughts. I've been getting a lot of really good comments with people who have been very open, which I really do appreciate. Again, thank you guys so much for being a big help with this channel, as well as us trying to respond to this sociopath. With that being said, this is Rob of Novakast signing off. Have a good one, and take care.